my name is Michelle, and along with my husband Matt and our 2 dogs, we travel full-time in this RV. This past year, we sold our house and hit the road full-time as RV travelers. This past year, what we also did was, for the first time ever, we became Disney Season Pass, or now it's called Magic Key, holders. So we are now RV people and Disney people, which are the 2 things that went together to make this video 10 places that you cannot miss at the California Disneyland Resort if you are an RV enthusiast like we are.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live.
So maybe you are going to Disney for the first time and you're really excited about it. Maybe you've been to Disney 100 times and have just recently gotten into RVing. Maybe you would much rather spend every single vacation in a national park or somewhere else on the road, and you have no interest in going to Disneyland, but your family just kind of broke you down until you gave in, and now you are planning a Disney trip, but you'd much rather be doing something else. One, you should watch my video, How to RV to Disneyland, so you can convince your family that you should bring the RV and do a Disney trip, because it is definitely possible. And 2, you should listen to this list of places inside the Disneyland Resort that you might enjoy if you also love the outdoors and camping and RVing and everything like that. So I was supposed to have 10 things on this list. I think it's still titled 10 places just because 10's a good number. But, right after I filmed the B-roll for this video, there was a press release that Toontown is kind of getting completely remodeled, and the inspiration for this video is getting torn down. So now there's going to be 9 other locations in Disney that you should definitely look for, but the main one is going to be gone. So what was supposed to be the first thing on this list is in Toontown, next to Goofy's Playhouse, is, I think when this goes live, you might be able to go see it for another couple weeks. There was a snack bar, little food cart right outside of Goofy's house, and it was RV shaped. So it's been closed for a while as a snack place, but it was a cute photo op, and it was Goofy's RV, and it was, you know, Goofy. It was very, you know, Goofy-esque type of RV in Toontown, and it was a really fun spot, and I saw it, and that's what gave me the light bulb to make this video of locations at the Disneyland Resort that you might want to go check out if you are an RV enthusiast like I am, like my husband is. So that is stop 1, and it's kind of, you know, gone to the wayside. But there are 9 more spots that you are sure to enjoy, and I'm going to kind of go through them and tell them, like, if you like this, you should go here. If your RV trips are kind of inspired by American exploration and your goal is to kind of just see as much of America as you can and experience all the different landscapes and things there are in the United States, you might really enjoy a trip on the Mark Twain riverboat. The Mark Twain riverboat is a steam-powered ship right in the middle of Disneyland, and it goes around what is called the Rivers of America.
Sound off! Off 1. That's the lesbian calling out the death mark so we can avoid running aground. Mark Twain is not just the name of a riverboat or a great American author. It also means the water here is 2 fathoms deep. That means it's safe enough for us to proceed on our steam-powered journey along the rivers of America. On our trip, we'll visit the magnificent Columbia of the Great Northwest, the graceful Missouri on the windswept plains, and the rugged Rio Grande along the border of Texas and Mexico. I'll be sure to point out interesting sights along the way, and even tell you about a legend or two. We begin our trip right here on the mighty Mississippi, heading south and ending up down in New Orleans.
But they just kind of take you along and tell you about different things that you might see while traveling on these rivers, and they have little animatronic animals and other little scenes, and it's just kind of pure Americana. So if you are interested in just kind of seeing America, then this is definitely a fun nod to that in Disneyland. Kind of to go along with that, right next to the Mark Twain Riverboat is the next spot that I thought that you might be interested in, especially if you are an RVer that loves the American West. Either you want to get out to the American West, or that's where you spend a lot of your travels already. You should definitely stop at Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. It will give you all of the Red Rock feels. It looks like a giant Red Rock monument in a lot of ways, and then there's this fun story about how you're on a runaway haunted mine train, but it's the wildest ride in the West. So if you are into the Old West or to ghost towns and things like that, this is a really fun roller coaster that is themed all around that you will enjoy, I think. In fact, fun fact, the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad is Matt and I's favorite ride in the park because we like the roller coaster, and then also the theming is just really fun. As a bonus, in the same area, kind of triangulated around the Mark Twain Riverboat and the Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, is a piece of petrified wood. It's this massive, kind of like the base of a tree, that Walt Disney actually gifted to his wife, and his wife was like, "This is great. Thank you for this massive petrified tree. Why don't we put it in Disneyland? Because it ain't gonna fit in our house." So that's really fun, and there's a plaque that kind of tells about the history of it, and you can see this actual piece of petrified wood, which is pretty cool. It definitely, of course, came from the era before they were like, don't take the petrified wood from the petrified forest. Also in that area, you can take the rafts over to Sawyers Island. So if you are a big hiking enthusiast, if you are kind of bummed because your kid is making you go to Disneyland, but you'd rather be on a hiking adventure, you definitely should take some time to head over to Sawyers Island, which is very nature and it's just trails to walk on, but it's also really fun because there are rope bridges and barrel bridges, and there's like a pirate's cave that you can go in and check out, and there are some definitely, like, there's some parts of those caves that are pretty like dark and tight, and I mean, it's a theme park, it's nothing like actually spelunking, but it'll give you a little taste if that's what you wish that you were getting out of your vacation. And it's just very relaxing and quiet over there. Not a ton of people head over there, so it's definitely a place to just get away from the hustle and bustle of a theme park. While we're on being a hiking enthusiast, let's hop over to California Adventure for just a minute, which is the theme park directly across from Disneyland. And over there is something they have called the Redwood Creek Trail. It's a lot less wild than Tom Sawyer's Island. Tom Sawyer's Island has just a lot more foliage and things, and this has some of that, but it's much newer. Instead of being made in the 50s, it was made in the mid 2000s or the early 2000s. So it's 50 years newer, almost 50 years newer. So it's definitely more, I guess manicured would be the right word. It's less, backwoods as far as you can get when it comes to in the middle of a theme park, but it's really fun. There's a rock climbing bouldering wall, there's like rope challenges. So if you're into that kind of thing, or if your kids are into that kind of thing, it's really fun. It will give you a flavor of being out in nature and hiking, while still being like a park kind of environment, like for playing. And there's redwood trees that you're going through, which is really cool. And if you're in California, redwood trees are a big part of that, which makes sense why it's in the California themed theme park. But if you are visiting Disneyland, but you're not getting up to north towards the redwood forests while you're in California, you definitely don't want to miss that, because it's just a really cool experience over there. So if you come at RVing as just a person who loves the open road, maybe you have a personal history or a family history of road trips, and it's just kind of, your American experience, or what you wish your American experience was, you should definitely head over to Tomorrowland in Disneyland. There is a ride called Autopia. If you are a Disney person, you know this, but if you're new to Disney and you're watching this video, Autopia is pretty funny. It's one of the I'm not sure if it's original, but it's definitely one of the, I think it is one of the original rides, because Autopia is in Tomorrowland, and it seems kind of weird to be in Tomorrowland because they're just little gas-powered go-karty type of cars, and there's nothing futuristic about them. In fact, they're fairly dated. However, this ride, when it was new, it predates the interstate system because it was made in the mid-50s. So it's really hard to imagine, but there weren't these big, wide, open interstates all crisscrossing the United States that we're all so used to if we've gone on any road trips. So if you're into road trip history at all, this is really fun because it's supposed to represent these wide highways. So it's like a 4-lane highway of these little theme park cars that you can drive, and it's fun for kids because they can drive and things like that. But it's just a really fun little nostalgic look at what at one point in time was not normal in this country, and now is just so everyday that we don't even remember that less than a lifetime ago, this wasn't something that you really had in this country, and it was so futuristic. So it's definitely a fun spot. There's nothing RVing about it, really. You're just driving a little car that could never tow a trailer. But it's really fun if you're just into the open road, and that's why you like to road trip or take your RV places. Speaking of road trip history, I know a lot of RVers and a lot of road trippers are really into Route 66. Route 66 is just fun and kitschy and nostalgic. Lots of people dream of taking a Route 66 road trip. I know I would love to do that someday. I can just imagine having an Airstream and just driving from Chicago to LA. And so if this is you, if you're into that kind of a thing, definitely go to Cars Land. If you've seen the movie Cars, you'll know it's about a little town where all of the characters are cars that's kind of down on its luck because the interstate, see Autopia, bypassed their little town on Route 66. And so this area of California Adventure is all based off of this movie. There's a bunch of rides that are really fun. There's no ride in particular that I would say that you really need to ride as an RVer at all, because there's no RVs, but it's definitely just road trip and Route 66 history. If you are bummed because you were wanting to do some kind of crazy, adventurous, big, wild trip this summer, but instead you're taking your 11-year-old to see Mickey Mouse or whatever, or how old do kids want to see Mickey Mouse? Probably 11's too old. But if you're taking your six-year-old to go see Mickey Mouse and you had wanted to go whitewater rafting in the Grand Canyon, I have a little bit of a ride that can help get a flavor for what you're missing. I mean, again, it's a theme park. You're not actually going to be whitewater rafting down the Grand Canyon, but you should definitely check out the Grizzly River Run, which is a water ride which is themed around a whitewater rafting adventure. So that's really fun if you are interested in that and if you don't mind getting wet at a theme park. I personally don't really like getting wet at a theme park because then I have to walk around wet. But if you don't care, this is definitely a ride for you. And even if you don't want to ride it, it's a really fun ride to just walk around and see the outside as people come by, because it's just really a beautiful setting. They have so much lush plants and it's just really fun to watch. And then it's also fun to laugh at those people that come off soaking wet. And then the last two spots on my list of the areas you should stop at if you are a camping, outdoor, RV enthusiast, are two spots for if you are a national park lover. I know that a lot of people who are into RVing are also into national parks. I know Matt and I love the national parks and we want to see as many as we can. So if that is you, then you should definitely just walk around the Grizzly Peak recreation area, which is a segment of California Adventure. And it's so, has so many national park feels. It's the same area that the Grizzly River Run ride is located in. And it's just really fun. The staff who works in that area, the cast who works in that area, are all dressed like national park rangers. They have the gift shops are national park themed. They have quotes from John Muir up on the wall. They have signs that you would see if you were in a national park up. It's really cute. It's really fun. We really like that area to just walk around and soak in the atmosphere. Even the areas where it would be like cast members only on a door that you can only go into if you're staff. It says like park rangers only. So they've really gone deep in the theming of the area. And so just being in that section of the theme park really gives you all the national park feels that you might be missing while on your Disney trip. And then while you're in that area, if you want to slip out of the park, you can go out through the Grand Californian Hotel, which is a nice option to stay at if you're not bringing the RV, because it has a lot of National Park Lodge vibes about it. It's a lot more pricey, though, than bringing your RV. That is for sure. But, I come at this video from an RVer, but maybe you love the outdoors, but you also love a national park lodge. Anyone can go into the lobby and look at the craftsman style architecture and listen to someone playing the piano and just soak in this atmosphere of this building that feels like you could have just been plopped down in the middle of Yosemite or Sequoia or Redwood Forest National Parks. But you're right in the middle of Disney. And then if you want, you can continue out the other doors to downtown Disney and be back right into all of the Disney commercialism you could ever ask for. So it's kind of a bummer that the only RV that I know of in the parks is going away. If there's one that I missed, if you know somewhere in one of the lands there is a little secret Easter egg of an RV, let me know, because I would love to see that. It's kind of a bummer that Goofy's RV is going away. I don't know if there'll be something like that replacing. I have no idea. But I'm glad that I saw it when I did, because it inspired this video, and I think that there are a lot of parts of Disney that you can enjoy, even if you didn't think that you were a Disney person or you weren't necessarily excited about a Disney trip, or if you love Disney and you're a huge Disney fan, but you also love these other things. So there's definitely ways to take Disney and your other interests, like I did today, and put them together. So I really enjoyed making this video. If there is something else, if you're a crafter or a historian, or I don't know, if you have some kind of hobby that you have somehow figured out how to meld with Disney, let me know down in the comments, because I'd just be really curious, because this was really fun for me to do, and I hope it helped you if this is your thing as well. But I'd love to hear about how other people have done this also. I love the people who are big foodies and have figured out how to make Disney food channels and things like that. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope that it was entertaining and informative and gave you some fun ideas or made you feel better about the Disney trip that your family is making you take. And if you are interested in more Disney videos, we have a video about how to RV to Disney, which will be linked down below, and a video on a review of Orangeland RV Park, which is less than 4 miles from Disney, so you can stay there if you are interested. Go check those out if those are things that would be helpful to you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It's really helpful to our channel and we would really appreciate it. And also, if you enjoy our content and you want to see more of it and you don't want to miss our videos, please subscribe, because that would mean a ton to us. It lets us know that we are on the right track and making the videos that you guys want to see. And that is it for this week. We will see you guys next Friday with a new video. Bye!
Today